Alrighty, hello there YouTube, welcome back to Leveling with Bruised. Bruised here, where today, for the first time in quite some time, I'm actually going to be leveling up to my name, and I'm going to be playing through with a Scion here. We're going to be doing Reliquarian bleed bow stuff, and if you're wondering why we're doing Reliquarian instead of something like Gladiator, it is because Reliquarian actually gets a level 30 version of Jack the Axe, which is quite good. And there's just some other stuff. Also, like, Reliquarian's new, so I like trying the new stuff out. So so this is just the avenue I decided to go for. And the other thing, speaking of new things that I wanted to do with this build, is this Voidstorm. I don't know necessarily how good it's going to be, but I really want to try it out. So the way that this works is every time you, or at least every half second, has a cooldown time of half second. Every half second, when you shoot a rain skill, when you use like rain of arrows or anything like that, you create a big storm on the ground, and when you run into that storm, it explodes and deals a bunch of damage. And the thing that caught my attention was the explosion deals 40% more damage with hits and ailments per stage, and it builds stages pretty quick, has a max of 10 stages. So the idea to me is that we just kind of really just kind of run around with it as normal. You know, we make things bleed and run around like that for however long, and then we, whenever we're in big targets, we set up a Void Storm or two. We run in, we just pop them, and it should just deal a ton of damage with a big bleed. That's the hope I'm going for, and that's what I'm gonna stick to. So we're gonna try that out, and yeah, I'm just gonna be leveling. I'm a couple levels in. I'm level 6. Oh yeah, both of these. Yeah, I've got just a standard setup. I did a League starter character as a Holy Strike Slayer. He's actually went surprisingly well. He's done surprisingly well and has kind of established me in the end game, enough to the point where I decided I would start a new character, because I think he's going to need some help when I get to like some of the later red tier maps, is when the Slayer will probably fall off, and so I figure, why not do this? Also, I will be listening to my own music on the side, so I have the in-game music turned on, all that kind of good stuff. And by my own music, I mean I'm listening to 12 Hours of Silence, occasionally broken up by Leon S. Kennedy from Resident Evil, telling me that I'm a good boy. And no, you're not allowed to hear that. So on we go. That's also just the... that was just the first thing that came to mind when I said what I was thinking about what I was gonna say when I said I'm listening to my own music on the side. So if that exists out there, well then, hey, maybe I am listening to that. You'll never know. Though it is difficult for me, because I love singing as much as I'm not good at singing. I do love singing, so I really have to like try to hold myself back while I'm gaming here. I'm gaming for recording for y'all. Also, I'm the only reason I don't usually record separately from stream, because there's usually not much of a reason to. It's all the same yapping. But just with streaming, I occasionally have somebody that yaps back. But I was streaming this yesterday with my Slayer, and I don't know if it's just because the state that the game's in right now, or if my computer was just having an off day. Like maybe I gotta really go through and tone some stuff down. But man, I could not stream and record the game. Streaming it by itself is fine. Recording it by itself is seemingly fine. But streaming and recording was not going great. So I think it's also, I think it is just the game right now. Like they've done a couple of patches since I stopped streaming yesterday. They put out a few more patches, and they had said like, oh yeah, we're having some server issues and stuff. So it's entirely possible it's just server issues are just causing more problems than that is reasonably viable for me to use that. Also, I just remembered I meant to actually just grab a random quiver in town, and I forgot to. But now, there we go. That'll work. It is also it's semi-unfortunate with Reliquarian. We're not gonna actually have Jack the Axe or like anything interesting, honestly, until like almost the end of the campaign, because it's not until 3rd lab that you unlock that. So that is a bit of a bummer. I do think, though, that this character should be reasonably tanky. We'll mostly be leaning into, like, armor. Might even take iron reflexes. We'll see. But mostly going to be leaning armor. And then I think with the help of... Or we could lean armor ES, take iron reflexes, or choose not to. And there is the body armor that gives you a good chance to dodge elemental ailments. So we could potentially try to just stack some elemental avoidance, and then also just be elemental immune, which would be, or elemental ailment avoidant, which would be quite nice. You don't realize how bad it is to get heavily shocked until you are heavily shocked. Okay. Alright, through the portal. Also, we're coming down here for Avatar of the Hunt first. We are avatarly hunting. You know what, also, at the very least, let's have a portal. Now let's bring out the chicken. And what other pet do we want? You know what, let's bring out the ultimatum pet. It's red. Oh, that does remind me. I think there's an MTX for Rain of Arrows. I might end up looking into grabbing it, because otherwise it's not the most visually stimulating skill. Not to say that not to say that Holy Strike was also necessarily the most visually stimulating. I like the skill. I think it's really cool. But it's not very visually stimulating. It's just kind of, you swing your weapon. You swing your weapon and your minions swing theirs. I am curious to know if like, I think most people that are playing that are doing Guardian, so me doing Slayer is already weird. But I actually wonder if Necromancer and Poison actually would have been decent. You just get enough accuracy so that you're hitting, and then should reasonably be pretty good. Just because then those weapons will hit 3 times and they'll always swing as well, and could very, very likely stack up quite a lot of oh, that reminds me to put my belt on. You could very likely stack some pretty serious poisons on a target, mayhaps. But it's also probably just better to use other stuff. A legendary battle. Oop. That's why I actually open it. I will be doing most Mirages, despite this being my second character. I will still be doing most Mirages. I actually really thoroughly enjoy... I keep forgetting that boat is there now. It takes you really close to the ledge. But I will be doing most Mirages as we're running through. I thoroughly enjoy Mirage as a mechanic. I think it's one of the most fun that we've had, just as like a very simple but fun mechanic. Just right as you're going in, you just make your choice as to what you want. From 3, go in, do however much the Mirage has for you, and then move on. It's great. It's simple. You kill a bunch of stuff, and it works. It's great. None of these matter. I guess I'll take a decoy. All right, I forgot I hadn't even come back for that. I did kill a Granddaddy Crab. Mr. Krabs. Do you have a bigger mana flask? Yes, but they're at level 12. That's fine. Farewell. Fine. I'll keep that. I guess I'll just put that in there too. Who cares? And over here. I actually, you know what? Speaking of, before we continue, I was just thinking, I was like, you know, Shock Nova. People still like Shock Nova Procession? Yeah. I'm glad that this skill wound up being pretty spicy. I have always really liked Shock Nova, but it just didn't feel spectacular to run. Frogs. No, just give me momentum. But it just, like, Shock Nova by itself is just kind of whatever, because you just had to position yourself so weirdly with it. And it wasn't my favorite to run because of that, but it's it's always been a very cool spell to me. So I'm glad that they gave that one a transfigure, and that it's actually good too. But I am I do, of course, I'm greedy, so I always want more, but I really would love it if we got more some more spells that just don't have spells and skills that just don't have a there's a large, at least for now, that don't have any transfigures to have transfigures. Like, I really want to see what they would do with the fireball. I'd love to see what they do with explosive shot, or even like a rolling magma, something like. I want to see some more of these transfigures for skills, especially for skills that actually reasonably need it, or that have just like one very clear way that people build it, right? Like rolling magma, at least right now, rolling magma is all the mind gamers are using rolling magma, which is fine. And then you have but there's just like a lot of skills out there that just have very much so one note kind of ways to build, like explosive arrow always just being totems, because that's the most effective way to actually get 20 fuses on a target. But I'd love it if there was a transfigure version of it like explosive arrow that instead made it more optimal for you to do like on hit stuff and just did something else. What I'm like nervous of, honestly, is that they would make a explosive arrow and they would do the same thing that they've done with, like, it feels like at least the last couple of I guess it's not entirely true, but any of the last like fire shots that they've done have just been pure fire damage over time instead of giving them a hit portion, and that's been a bummer. It's been a real bummer that you only get the fire dot stuff, because then it obviously very much so very immediately just kind of says, yeah, you have one way to build this, and that's kind of it. Because I did the new firebow skills, I think last league. Might have been my league starter last league, honestly, and I was not very fond of them. Was not very fond, and it was very unfortunate to me that was the case. But I mean, I'm sure there are people out there that have fun with it, which is fine. But I would just love more on-hit stuff. The thunderstorm thing, which is why I'm hoping Voidstorm is fun. The thunderstorm skill looked very fun. I just never got around to making a build with it. Oh. Yeah, that skill looked really fun, and I'm certainly hoping that that Voidstorm here is also a good time as far as just putting out big bleeds. I hope it does just apply a humongous bleed whenever I really need it to, and we can just use it and be and be happy. Also, level 12, that means, knowing me, it's time to Rain of Arrows. I always play as whatever skill and build I'm planning to play at endgame, because otherwise I feel like I have to respec or think about it later, and I don't like doing that. My face is all in the correct position, isn't it? Yeah. Okay.
From Oriath to Axiom, one prison to another.
Right, and we don't even have to do lab trials because we already did those. All right, we are level 12 and a level 8. Let's. I'll skip this one in particular, unless she offers uniques.
Make your wish.
She does not offer uniques. We're leaving. Like I said, I'll do most of these, but if we happen to be pretty over-leveled for an area, then I will start skipping at least a little bit. At least a wee bit. This rated? Oh, it's the same one I have. There's not really any fantastic, there's not really any fantastic, unique style quivers for this particular setup, I think, as well, from what I was looking at. Doesn't look like there was anything I should necessarily care about. So I just am going to be rocking a regular quiver the whole time. But in the end game, we'll be using a hunter quiver. Oh. You know, I wonder if it's still broken in POB. I was just thinking about this. I was like, I wonder at what point, or if there is a point, realistically, where the Widow Hail that Reliquarian can get. Because the two options, realistically, that looked good in POB were the Widow Hail, which for Reliquarian gives you 75% increased effect of Quiver, or Jack the Axe, which initially, I definitely think initially Jack the Axe, until we're able to get a very good, really good Quiver up and running, we'll be running Jack the Axe. But I do wonder if there is a point actually where it becomes more valuable, and or what that point is. I don't know. We might have to have the Giga Quiver of Hell, or we might actually have to run a Widow Hail in general too, which I guess would be okay. Would reasonably be fine. I'm not super sold on what bow I need to use. I am planning to use at least at the very start here. There's the quiver, or not quiver, there's the bow from this league. It's new this league. That gives you a chance to impale enemies. It gives you more fizz dot. It gives you a chance to impale enemies, and I think when I was looking at the ability for it, it deals an additional physical dot when enemies are impaled by you. I think that's how that worked. So it should just be more fizz dot per fizz dot, and with impales, there's actually a bleed mastery that makes it so that you gain more physical dot multi based on how many impales a target has.
The wall between
So
life and death
I
is crumbling.
at least I think that's how that worked. We'll have to double check when we get to that level, but that's way down the line. I think that's level 70. I think that was a level 71 bow to be able to use. And Voidstorm is also level 72, so we have quite a ways of just leveling with regular ass bow stuff. Where ignore. There it is. Let me in. Oh goodness. I also wonder what color will be the best. I guess it would only be red. I was trying to think what if there is a trying to think if there's a world where those coins that let you corrupt level 20 skill gems and give them a level 1 additional gem, if there's a world where those are where there's like a different color other than red, but I don't think there is. I think we use the red. I don't know what we'll be looking for necessarily. Cruelty, maybe? Maybe cruelty? There's probably a lot of, like, nothing burgers of things that it can hit, though.
Power corrupts and corruption empowers.
Okay, let me pull up my POB here. Oh, it's gonna load. It might be. I think it's checking for updates at the same time as everything else is happening. Work. There we go. Okay. Yeah, we're gonna go. Let's just go over and take bravery first. We get the ignore and we get some life there, and then we can take deadly draw and heavy draw here, and then maybe make our way over towards dirty techniques. Maybe start heading up towards the bleed stuff over there. Yeah, I think that works. Now, go over to bravery. Let's go and be brave first. New song. Also, probably... Oh. And it feels so weird having a having any kind of long facial hair like this. I really haven't had facial hair like this in who knows how long, but I just kind of wanted to see how I look with it. I think I look alright. But it's throwing me off, man. I also am always like, does it fill in as well as I remember it does? And fills in alright. Bear Graves. That is a gentleman of honor. It pains him greatly to do this. Whoa, dude, I'm honorable, I'll have you know. Goodbye. Oh. Actually, then yeah, we could just go, well... I know me. I was gonna say, we can just waypoint over to the cavern now, but I know me. If I do that, I am absolutely gonna forget to come back to grab the skill point until after Act 2, whenever we go back, or we come back here. Multiple projectiles, that does not matter, really. Life tap, fire... No, give me the life tap, specifically because of... Hey, random arrows. Give me the life tap. I can't remember when we get Poacher's Mark.
Farewell.
I want to say that the eventual endgame idea is that we use... Let's put that away for now. I think the eventual endgame idea is that we use... Well, Poacher's Mark is going to be the starting point. And then after Poacher's Mark will be... I think it's a Warlord ring. If we can get our hands on a decent Warlord ring to apply vulnerability on hit, and then maybe wear Asenath's gloves so that we are making pops like that, that could be potentially a good angle to go for. But I don't know. Void manipulation, right? So we can just deal no damage. We can do efficacy. Or actually, we're do unbound. Duration of elements. Expected non-damaging elements. And 10% more damage. More damage over time. I think since we're not doing elemental elements. Get rid of momentum. Goodbye, momentum. Tamuriel's Cavern. Blah, blah, blah. I don't know how long I'm planning to really go on this recording. I'm kind of just trying to go. Gotta go fast. Gotta go fast. Gotta eat ass. Oh, I forgot to buy a precision too. We're gonna need that. What is my chance to hit right now? Okay, it's still 100, so we're still golden for the time being, but a precision would also go really hard here. Yeah, I'm not much of a speed runner, so to say. Obviously, I'm doing mirages. If you're actually trying to speedrun Path of Exile, the most optimal way is to not run the League mechanic, literally at all, until you get to maps. But I don't like doing that. Playing the mechanic is the fun part. Yeah, I think we want to make our way over towards the bleed stuff now. We can't aggravate. It's kind of unfortunate, but we are going to be using... Oh, that's right. Another pretty important piece is we'll also be using the boots, Tempest Rising, I believe is the name of those boots. We'll be using Tempest Rising. Those are the ones where when an enemy is afflicted by an elemental ailment, they count as moving. And we'll be putting Venopuncture on, so bleeding enemies are also chilled, which therefore then means they're moving, so that is the plan. Frogs. Goodbye, frogs. I love that that's an option, honestly. What they ought to do now is one of those, is a joke style thing like Diablo does, where you, instead of you have the secret cow level, you have like the secret frog level or something. You get a bunch of frogs hopping out at you that have that actually attack you this time though, instead of like the frogs in the rest of the game that just kind of jump around. That is also next on the list, I think, for me to make a build with. I was actually so excited to see that they've finally added an avenue for us players to use the frogs from Ritual, that frog spell that a lot of the casters use. That they finally gave us an avenue to be able to use that, which is the exceptional support. I think it's literally called Hextoad. And I'm absolutely gonna make a build with it. And I think since it sticks to hex spells, like whenever you cast the hex spell, you create the frogs. And I think because of that, I'm kind of thinking I might make that build be a hex blaster. I've never done a hex blast build, so it'd be fun in that regard too. Then I get to try something I've never done, which would be pretty neat. Could be neat to do some good old Hex Blast frogging. Even if it's not entirely optimal, I want to use those frogs. But I'm not sure. I wanted to make it so that the frogs also were like the main they were the main point of the build, was that we were running frogs. But I don't know if there's a way to make them pop out of the ground faster, and you only get one
Savagery thrives
frog
around
zone.
me.
You only get one area with frogs, so we'll have to see. We will have to see. That's going to be a science project for another day, for sure. But I like a lot of the exceptional gems and a lot of the avenues that they went for removing awakened gems. I know that was something that they had really talked about in the past, was that exceptional, or like that awakened gems were pretty boring. They were pretty boring. They didn't like them, and they had just been added at the time for just like a little bit more power creep. But they weren't my favorite. They weren't GG's favorite, just because they really were just okay. We have slightly better added lightning damage here. I mean, I guess it gives you +1 levels at the end, which was good, but then you had things like Awaken Lightning Penetration. Even Awaken added fire, because nobody really uses added fire damage support. You just had too many times where it was just a total nothing burger. I'm gonna buy that precision now. What level's Malevolence? That's like, is that a 28 gem? Is that a 30 gem? That's a 24 gem. Oh. Yeah, just give me that. Won't be able to use it, but that's okay. Precision, that one. Onward, outward, upward, and beyond. Half hour right now? Okay. Reasonably a pretty fast Act 1, for me anyway. Again, for me, it's... I'm always far snoozier on the, on completing the campaign. Like, fast for me is... I think the fastest I've done is a little under 8 hours for campaign. Because it just doesn't. I just want to play through and figure out the character and everything, and so that's usually how it goes. Or I'll get sidetracked and forget something and whatever else. Also, if we just like stand around, if we even stand around for any amount of time and think about stuff, then that also becomes like a time loss. Use your rolling attack again. All right, never mind. Goodbye. We'll probably want to get rid of Cool Rain relatively quickly. I don't know what we really get rid of it for, but we might as well get rid of it at some point. Hello.
Choose what you wish.
More monsters, yes sir. Yes sir. Capture the flag. One of the few achievements I have left to complete in this game was doing capture the flag, which realistically the only way to even do a capture the flag would be to get a full party of people and go do it. But I think I'd have to do that, and I'd have to do a lore run. Go click on all the stuff while you're running around. Every time I use Phantasm support, I just reminded me because I have him standing here. Every time I use Phantasm support, though, I do really want to use. I want to do a build around summon Phantasm support at some point. There just has not been a time where Phantasm support really felt like Or just where I felt like I could make a build around it. Or I just felt like I just didn't want to think about what it would take to make that build, but maybe it's time. Who knows? I did already technically do a... I think the other problem is, in a way, I did a minion build. I guess I shouldn't really consider it a minion build. My Slayer is not really a minion build. He's a guy who built a strike skill that happens to have minion synergies as well, and like has a very minor hint of minion stuff in there as well, but it's not a minion build. I did consider for the Hextoad thing, I considered doing Dark Pact again as well. I do like Dark Pact. I think I've only built that once, and I built it in a weird way. I did something really strange with Dark Pact. I wish I could remember what it was, because I remember I built it and I was like, this is weird. And I don't remember why I thought it was so weird. Or maybe it just wasn't very effective because I built it as weird as I did. I really can't recall it. Irish. There it goes. My big-ass mug of coffee. Like halfway through that. I should probably just kind of slam that a little bit more, truthfully. It will make me have to poop, though. So, we don't have any... No, this bow. But it's all... I guess it doesn't matter that much. Oh, and this is the bow I was talking about. The Bane of Hope. This one is rolled incredibly poorly. I want to say it goes 15 to 30. Yeah, the Fizz Dot and the Impale are both base levels, and the increased Fizz is also pretty low. So we're eventually going to try to get a better one, but this is the idea for the weapon at the end. I don't know that this will remain to be the weapon at the end, but I want to at least try it for a little bit. I want to give it a go. It's another new thing, and then if it doesn't work out, then we'll just move on from it, and that's fine. But yeah, then we also have Alessa's Delight, because it'll be very easy. It's very easy to get frenzy charges. And Tempest Rising. Right. Well, wait. I wanted to see if Bruce just has, like, if the short bows are available. He has... Oh, wait. He has one bow. It's the Ranger bow. Composite materials. Let's take a look. Fire damage. 3 to 1.3. Let's just see. If it just feels too slow, then we'll just switch back. It's not like Quill Rain isn't killing stuff right now anyway. Brian over there. You need better quiver as well. So after we take this, I guess we want to. Yeah, that's just that. We do want to pivot down. I think we want to try to go for. Wait, shit. How do I pivot over for the bleed stuff? Where do I go? Oh, I do go down through that. Okay. Very well, then. Yeah, because I think we want to go over here for this bleed stuff early. Because we don't have 100% chance to cause bleed yet. Sparks you hit with attacks. That's also... Yeah, okay. Let's... I actually might just take just Deadly Draw right now. Yeah, let's take just Deadly Draw for the time being, and then make our way over towards Bloodletting, because that'll enable us to actually have some form of early bleed aggravation, which will be extremely nice. Oh. Also, you know what? Since we have... Oh, wait. No, not the charges. I think it's a character effect? Yeah, there it is. Since we have, Loctonial Caresses on, we should use the character effect thing there. It's rare that I actually have a source of all charges, so might as well put it on while we got it. Use them if you got them. Stop temp chaining me, please. We're so slow now. And hopefully the next season in Path of Exile 2 is also a total banger like this league has been. Path 2 is definitely it's in such an interesting spot where it's like I genuinely really enjoy Path of Exile 2. I had a ton of fun with it with the Druid launch league. But it's like it's super good, but also just like it needs a few touch-ups still. I really truly see the end goal for it, and I think I see how good it's going to be later. But for the time being, there's still just like a couple of things that just irk me just enough to not play it as much as I play any Path 1 league. But I do absolutely feel like there's gonna come a time with Path 2 where it becomes the main game, and I potentially spend less time on Path of Exile 1 instead. But we'll see. I'm kind of hopeful for that day, truthfully, because I think Path of Exile 2, because obviously they get to learn from Path 1 and whatever else. I think it has the better bones. Where's level 2? Over there. Might be over there. I think it has the better bones, which, I mean, obviously, it should. It's the second game. It is baffling to me, though, having a community like yeah, there it is. Like the Path of Exile community, especially the Path of Exile 1. I don't know that I've ever seen a community that loves to hate on a sequel, or like loves to hate on a sequel as much as I've seen Path of Exile love to. Or the Path of Exile community. Like the amount of people that just every time it's like, even if there's like a small miss in a league or something, or whatever else, or like there's any kind of delay with any kind of Path 1 content, which there kind of was this league, but it's because of it's once again because they took time off at the end of the year. They always do, and it makes sense. But just the amount of people that are just come out of the woodwork to be like, bro, cancel Path of Exile 2. That shit sucks, bro. Just move on. Admit you guys failed and just move on, bro. And it's just like, they didn't fail though. Path 2 is still such a huge success of a game, and it's such a fucking good game. But just you just get so many. I don't know if they're purists or if they're just rage baiters. But I feel like I see too many comments almost for it to be rage baiting, of just people being like, pack it up. It's wild. It's absolutely wild. I don't think I've ever seen another community just love to hate on a sequel as much as people here do. I do think that as time has gone on, GG has also gotten way better about actually splitting their workforce to work on Path 1 and Path 2 simultaneously. Because I know for a while they just weren't. Obviously, that was the Eternal Settlers League. And then I want to say that for a bit they said that they were doing like back and forth, where it was they would finish a league and then pivot and start working on Path of Exile 2. But now I think they've kind of found their flow and started doing things smarter for themselves too, which is just nice to see.
Remember to live.
In the realm of other ARPGs though, that potentially might be fun. I'm hopeful. There is the creators of I believe it's Diablo 1 and 2. They got together to make, I think their studio name is Moonbeast, I think, and they're making the game Darkhaven. And I played the demo for that. It was really cool. It was a very interesting take on the genre, in the sense that the environment was like completely destructible, and you could place, if you like destroyed some walls or something, then you would get stone and you could place it so that then you could climb up to a certain other area that you couldn't reach. And there was some interesting stuff too. They only, for the demo was very short. It was very small. I just wanted to hop in and just kind of see what it was like, and it was interesting. And they give you just like one character with a couple of options, because obviously the game is like, I think it was pre-alpha, so the game is still very, very early on, very bare bones right now. But there's some cool stuff there, and the thing that I chose and something that I like is it was the character. I don't whatever the character's name was. But you get to play that character, and she had an ability where you just like stacked, whenever you attack, you would potentially generate a sigil, and then when you were at maximum sigils, your next attack would use a spell that she had as well, and it would be an enhanced version of that spell. It would be an enhanced version of that spell as well. Or you could manually cast the spell, and you'd get the enhanced version that you could shoot from afar. It's pretty cool. So I'm hopeful that that game, whenever that comes out as well, is also fun with ARPGs. There's a few other I'm keeping my eyes on, like I think it's called Dragonkin the Banished. I think it's still in early access, and I saw it like initially had mixed reviews, but now people have been like, oh, okay, they fixed a lot of stuff. I still have some. I need to put some more time into that game, but it seemed like it had some interesting mechanics to it, so I was not upset from what I initially saw from that game. But I'd only played like 10-20 minutes or something, or I moved on to doing some other gaming stuff on the side. But because I love playing games with my friends, that's always my hard 50-50 I have, is that I love playing games with my friends, but I do genuinely also really enjoy like recording and streaming and stuff. Like it actually is very fun to me to do this. But I don't want to record and stream literally everything, because then I feel like you get to a point where you start to feel like you're missing out on content if you're not recording everything, and I don't want to get to that point. But there is definitely that time where I'm like, damn, I wish I was like recording or doing something here, because that would have been, you know, this would be really funny or really really neat if we did this. But alas, I am but one person.
What do you want?
So no quivers. Damn you. Down below we go. I will say, man, jumping back to my yapping about other ARPGs, because again, we're just leveling, man. We're just pushing through the campaign. Me yapping about other ARPGs, I will say something that will forever be kind of a bummer to me is, like, I don't know, I feel like ever since the whole situation with Last Epoch's company went down, where they, like, I don't blame them in the sense of them selling the company to somebody else that was willing to like back them and give them money and stuff. Like, I think that makes sense to me, honestly. Like, if you're gonna develop something and you're a smaller studio, well, hey, you can do more if you have more money, and if someone's willing to back you. then yeah, but it was just such an unfortunate thing where it's like Last Epoch gets bought, and then people find out that it's from whatever it was, Crafton, who is just so AI centric that it was just like now there's just a concern about that happening, and then like some other monetary concerns start surrounding Last Epoch all at the same time, and it's just like, man, now that game just like almost leaves slightly a bad taste in my mouth. It's not like the most egregious thing I've ever seen, but it's not great. And it's such a bummer because I genuinely really think that that it's a good game, that it's really fun, and it has a lot of like depth and variety to it. But it's harder for me to play a game if I think that the company is like moving in a wrong direction, basically. I mean, I guess that's not entirely true. It's somewhat true because I don't want to support a company if they're moving in like a shitty direction, but at the same time I've bought games from companies that are absolutely horrendous to me. Because it just sometimes that's just is what it is. But I try to moderate it. It's just I guess it's also more so a matter of like what I want to spend my time on. And I don't necessarily want to if I feel like the game is like if the game feels like it's going to move in a direction that would just break my heart more, then I don't want to go through that. Actually, give me this quiver. I can try to roll on it. But I will say I think there's another season for Last Epoch starting in like 2 or 3 weeks. I think it'll be I believe it is like 2 or 3 weeks. They were gonna start a new league, and it seemed like there's a new ability at the very minimum for Rogue that looked pretty cool. It's like Shadow Dance or something. No, let's go into this one. Chromatic Orbs. But yeah, I liked the look of some of it, but I don't know that I'm actually going to play it. It'll also depend on like how far along I am in my Path of Exile League, because basically it's, you know, this league is already feels like it's going to be a lot of fun, and is going to give me a lot of content and a lot of time that I'll feel like I'll enjoy putting into it. So it's a lot harder for me to already do that. And then depending on what it looks like for the Path of Exile 2 League as well, which will be out in a few months, then who knows how much time I'll really be able to commit to playing Last Epoch, especially that early in a league. I mean, you can get through a Last Epoch league and get to a point where you feel satisfied a lot faster, in my opinion, than you can with a Path of Exile league. But that's also because I love making multiple characters in Path of Exile. I usually do in Last Epoch as well. I make like 2 or 3 characters typically, get them to like a decent point, and then move on. But Path of Exile though, I make like 10 plus characters in a league every time, so it's a little bit harder. So we'll see. It's gonna really have to be a banger league from Last Epoch to take me away from Path of Exile, I think. At the most, I would probably just watch some other streamer maybe just play it a little bit and leave it at that. Who knows? Meanwhile, man, I really there's a part of me that wishes I enjoyed. I wish I enjoyed Diablo 4 more. Like, sometimes there was a part of me that was like, maybe I just pop in for like a very quick like day or 2 on the league and then call it good. But I was just, as soon as I saw what their upcoming season is, which is just you become the Butcher, which, man, they love the Butcher. I don't know what it is for like what is a extremely minor boss that shows up all the way back in the first game, which, like, I feel like the most iconic time for him felt like in the first game, or maybe even in the third game as well, with him showing back up, and it was like, oh shit, you know, she resurrected a big, and like made a big version of the Butcher, you know, that's pretty crazy. But the first game had like the most like shock factor, like he comes out of there and just, and is yelling at you, and you're just like, oh shit. But now you just have Butcher everywhere, and now we get to randomly turn into the Butcher. Like, it's such a weird thing. But yeah, as soon as I saw it though, as soon as I saw the season from D4, I just immediately just rolled my eyes, because I was like, yep, there's your power for the League. You get to become the Butcher. But I know that people really liked this this last League with Sanctifying Relics and whatever else, and probably had some fun with Paladin and whatnot, but I don't know. It just, none of it was exciting to me. But I am glad for the people that do enjoy it. I'm glad they do. It just, every time I look at Diablo 4, I just more and more I'm like, this is Diablo 3. And now they're adding sets as well, which sets are cool. I've actually always been a fan of sets, but more like the Diablo 2 version of sets, where they're like a good early option, and then you kind of can pivot away from them pretty easily. Versus the Diablo 3, which was just, yeah, you get the set bonuses, you win the game. I was less of a fan of that. Prismatic Tincture. Always less of a fan of that, but it feels like that's the direction that D4 is going. And just every time I look at D4, I'm like, yeah, this is Diablo 3, but with better graphics, honestly. I do also hope that I'd also hope for the sake of Diablo, like, the only thing that made me wanna, like, hop in and try, well, I don't know if it's for this upcoming season or for the, it might be for the expansion. Oh wait, we're just going back. But was the actual improvement to their skill tree. Because holy, was their skill tree boring. And has been boring for the longest time. So message me, what do you want? Oh. Right. My roommate just reminded me that I saw a video of somebody who I guess turned Diablo 2 into like a first person version using Unreal. And it was kind of interesting. I was like, that's weird, but that's cool. Shout out to a solo dev just being able to do that kind of thing. Alright. There you go. Had to respond to him. Almost forgot to... that from you. What do you have for me? Oh, right.
Farewell.
Yeah. I already have one of those, thanks. Alright. Going bam bam. I mean, I guess we could just cut over here right now. 1, 2, 3, and this would allow us to just get up this way. Because otherwise I was going down and around. Because eventually we were going to take Bastion Breaker. Let's look at this again. Is there really a reason 1, 2. It's less points. Yeah, it is more optimal point-wise, but I think early on, until we want to go down here and connect that, I think early on we should just come up here to get bloodletting. Also don't think this mastery node in particular matters. For endurance charge, I wonder if there's a way for us to gain endurance charges. There is here, but I don't know that we're gonna spend the 3 points to get that. It'd be 4 points to get that. For ultimately for 9% dot multi. No, no, no. Also, this timeless jewel over here is probably not sticking around. I was just futzing around, seeing what exists elsewhere. No, it's great. We're still just gonna play it. We're just gonna go around. Let's just go around. I tend to usually do my end game trees as well. End game tree. It's just easy. It's just easier that way. I really don't like respecking. The less respecking I have to do later, the better. Even if it makes, and this is also absolutely just me being like, absolutely me just being like lazy. Because ultimately, would it be more optimal to do that? Yeah, but I just really don't like to do that. The less respecking I do, the better. That's why I don't do like. That's why a lot of the time, like, my league starters or some other builds will be, like, really potentially painful for a while. Because I refuse to build as something else or do something else until I get to a point where I can, I refuse to do something else until I can get to a point where I do, where I can, go back and respec 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 points, and then we make our way. At 10 points total, that's fine. Reasonably, also, we're so early that, like, 10 points sounds like a lot, but you fly through it pretty quick when you're getting, like, bonus skill points and this and that. This, that, the other thing. That other thing. You know the one. Or diffusing. I love to fuse things. I do think. Well, we'll have to see as well. I don't recall what. I don't recall what gloves can roll. We might have to take a little looky-loo at some point, but that'll be much later. Because like my thoughts and feelings are like, we use Asenath plus a full-on hit ring. Like, super late game, I think. We go Asenath's plus vulnerability on hit. And just everything explodes into sand. But I think also having maybe even a pair of gloves that we swap into for like, bossing purposes could be a thing.
No.
We'll have to see. But I don't remember what gloves can roll. And I know that there's the damage over time gloves. I don't know that we would run those, but we could. I would have to look at what the Searing Exarch and Ear of Worlds implicits are to really make that determination. Because there's also always and then also I'd have to look at what specific influence modifiers there are too. Because we could always also get that base for damage over time implicit. And then also still run like a Drox or a Hunter or Elder Shaper, depends on what rolls what. And if there is like a damage over time functionality and all that. I don't recall very well anymore. I really don't make damage over time builds that often. They're kind of like, they're almost kind of like minion builds for me, where I enjoy them, but I only really do like one at most 2 during a league, but for the most part it's like 1, because I prefer on hit type dealios. I think the only ailment I feel like I don't care that much for is probably Ignite, truthfully. Well, yeah, probably Ignite. I've only done a couple Ignite builds. They never really stick with me. Not that they're like overly bad or something, they just aren't my favorite. Hey-oh. I'd say Cold Dot as well, probably. I've also only done a couple Cold Dot builds. They can be reasonably fun, though. I feel like I used to not like Cold Dot a lot more than I feel about Cold Dot today. These days, I'm far more okay with Cold Dot these days. But there was a period of time where I really did not care for Cold Dot in the slightest. Phew. There is the Ancient Pyramid. If you're still watching this right now, what's a good kind of music do you listen to? What's your song recommendations? I'm just scrolling through random stuff on the side over here, but what's your music recommendation? What do you like? What do you play for yourself? I'm a bit all over the place. It really depends. I play, I'd say I play mostly rock music. I love me some Divorced Dad rock. I'll be so real. God, I don't have that on. I love me some Divorced Dad rock, truthfully. Very fun. I also love, I occasionally play some EDM. I feel like I play EDM when I'm at the gym. I like EDM at the gym. Kind of helps me. Then I'm not focused on the lyrics, and I can kind of just, like, pump through, but I kind of go in and out. I even recently had a phase where I was just listening to classical music a lot. That's not something that happens very often, but I can absolutely get down with some classical music. I feel like I'm all over the place. But there's just like a few genres here and there that I'm not the largest fan of. But most music I'm like, hell yeah. The Apex. Oh, we only have an hour here. Occasionally, I get re-reminded of like of artists that I haven't listened to in a long time, but that that I thoroughly enjoy. Something like I think I had kind of recently started re-listening to only some stuff. There wasn't like a huge. There was like I think it's their last album. I wasn't the biggest fan of, but like Hollywood Undead, even Gorillaz. Honestly, as much as I do like the Gorillaz, it was their last album that they did. Oh my god, I have no mana, and I have no way to get more mana right now. Ugh. Just bleed. Fuck. Oh, there we go. Which I know might be like a sin to say I didn't like didn't like it, but just it was.
The least we
I
can
think it
do
was
is
like their
now.
last album. They just
Tidy up after that.
it was 39%. It's quite nice. Take it. Their last album though, they were doing nothing but features, which is sometimes fine, because some of their most iconic songs are features. At least to me, they are. At least to me, some of their most iconic songs are features. But it was like features where they didn't sing literally at all, and I was like, well, that's I don't like. I'm here to listen to the Gorillaz, man. So I don't know. Something about like their last album wasn't my favorite, but I do still in general really enjoy the Gorillaz regardless. And so, but yeah, that was a band I kind of like restarted listening to recently. Hollywood Undead was. My dad reminded me of a couple of Stevie Ray Vaughan songs. If you're a knower, I forgot that Stevie Ray Vaughan did a cover of Superstition by Stevie Wonder, which is a very good cover. But even funnier as well is I forgot that they like Stevie Wonder was also like was also a fan of the cover. Like they I think they performed it together even at some point, and Stevie Wonder is in the music video for Stevie Ray Vaughan's cover of it as well. It's great. But then we've had so much. I've had so much for bands that I personally are like some of my top favorite bands in general out there. Some of them have put out new albums recently that have been just absolutely fantastic. Like band Mammoth. We got good. So you got good old Mammoth. You got good old Mammoth. Good old Alter Bridge. And just a couple other well, actually, it's mostly those two. Those two put out, you know, actually I would say even 21 Pilots' most recent album too was very good to me. But Alter Bridge and Mammoth are for sure two of my favorite bands out there. If you're not a knower, Alter Bridge is all of the members of Creed except for the singer, except for Scott Stapp. They started that band back when Creed kind of split up because of some stuff, and they got a new singer and started up Alter Bridge, and I love Alter Bridge. They're such a damn good group and have such good like singing and everything like that. So very much of a fan. And then Mammoth, I found out relatively recently about, but Mammoth is the singer. I think he might have at first. I don't know if he still does, but it's Mammoth, who's Wolfgang Van Halen, which is Van Halen's son. Makes music for this band, and I think for like the first like album or two, I don't know if he still does on this most recent one, but for the first album or two, while he's in the studio, obviously he plays every instrument as well, and it's he has a really good style, really good voice and everything, and I am definitely a big fan of Mammoth. I think he does an awesome job. So very both of those guys put out. Both of those groups put out an album, I think late last year, or late last year. And actually, Alter Bridge might have been Alter Bridge. I think was January this year. But both just fantastic albums. Highly recommend if you're a rock enjoyer. But it's just been a great time for music. The musical listenings of. Let's see. Orb Alteration. Oh boy. Zaclamatorium. We're here. What level are we? 28. Yeah, it's so easy to get over-leveled this league, which I do love. I love how easy it is to get over-leveled. I always think back to like what some of my favorite leagues were when I was first starting the game, and it was mostly the ones that did just like they were very easy to just over level in. So some of the ones I could think of would be like, as much as I don't actually really care for Delirium much these days, Delirium was absolutely one of my favorite leagues when it first came out, just because it was super easy to just over level.
Make your wish.
You know what, sure.
Do what you
It was very easy to just over level, and it was just pretty fun to do. Whereas something like a, I think the first mechanic I ever made it to end game with, I want to say it was before Delirium. It was definitely before Delirium. I think the timing for it is correct. But it would have been Metamorph League, and that would have been the first. I believe that was the first league I ever got all the way to the end, and started doing end game stuff. And I had a reasonable good time with that. That was when I finally was like, you know what? Because I have a good buddy who was like, I was like, you know what? You play Path of Exile a lot. I love ARPGs, and I'm tired of just playing Diablo 2 and Diablo 3, man. Like, I gotta learn this. So he was like, you know what? I'll teach you. Let's just do it. And I was like, all right, let's send it. And yeah, I absolutely love Path of Exile now. And shout out to my buddy for teaching it to me. Also, holy, what a layout. But yeah, I think it was Metamorph League, and I will be honest, I'm so glad Metamorph is just gone, honestly. It was not my favorite. It was not my favorite mechanic. Those Metamorphs were some of the strongest enemies in the entire game, and it was kind of ridiculous how terrifying those things would be. The amount of maps that I could think of where I just was like, yeah, you just get to live there, Metamorph. You're good. I'm leaving. Is really high. I do think that it would be kind of neat potentially if they decided to, and kind of same with Harbinger as well. Personally, I have some friends that do actually really enjoy. There are some people that really enjoy Harbinger. I know one of my buddies is a really, he always farms the Blue Man group every league basically. So I know he was bummed out about them removing Harbinger. But for me, I never cared that much about Harbinger. I remember that was the first league I ever tried. Path of Exile was Harbinger League. And I was like, no, I'm good. I don't know what any of this is. I don't know what these blue men are. I don't know what these shards are that these guys dropped. I just don't care. And I just dropped the game. That was my first impression. But there, as much as I'm like, yeah, whatever, you guys could be gone, I don't care. I do also hope that they come. I hope that they bring them back at some point, but in a better way than they were implemented in the game. And same with Metamorph. I think it'd be kind of neat if they brought Metamorph back at some point, but just in a better way. He's weeping. Bro, it's barely better. Try again. Go Gadget Weeping Essence. Holy crap. Why is it so bad? Why is it so terrible? She keeps rolling elemental damage. Stop that. 18 to 53. Bro, that's actually just worse. 19 to 58 with some attack speed. What is this again? 61. Yeah. Man, it sounds like I have a ton of scouring, so I can't really, like... Actually, you know what? Roll attack speed, 27 to 82. Screw it. Screw it. We'll take it. Whatever. Ain't that big of a deal. Put that there. I'll just throw this on our guild stash. And I'm saving for later. Then, Larissa, I want your keys. Thanks, man.
See you.
Thanks, man. Oh, you know what? Let's take a look. So, we can use Praxis, which we should do. Is there... I don't think there's anything else in particular right now. Like, it's not until level 49, I think, that we can run Venopuncture? Yes. Okay. So, level 49, we have Venopuncture. We might as well just run that and that for now. Still no better... Still no fucking quivers. What the shit, man? Glove-wise, that's gonna be fine. Wanderlust is fine for now. That's fine, that's fine. Yeah, I guess we're okay for now. I mean, we could just drop Gold Rim for Thrill Steel. Maybe let's just run Thrill Steel. We're trying to go at least a little bit fast, right? Let's just do it. And then I want to see if I can get Poacher's Mark and Mark on Hit right now. Mark on Hit is Act 4, so I don't think I'll be able to. Also, is this only a 3-socket? No, it can't be 4. Let's go take a look-see, though. I can... Well, are we level 28? We are level 28 at least, right? 29, yeah. So we could probably get Poacher's Mark at least, maybe, but I don't think we can... Well, we can't get Mark on Hit, most likely. Yeah, there's Poacher's Mark. Anyway. But Mark on Hit is going to be later. Yeah, 38. That's what I thought. That is what I thought, but that's okay. There. Now we have that. We have that. Can't wear this yet because of intelligence reasons. We got to be more smart, but we can worry about that a bit later. Oh, vicious projectiles. Yeah, we want that. Shadism. Goodbye, phantasms. I'll miss you. Was there anything we could do? Cruelty. Oh, volatility as well, actually. We may end up wanting a Rislatha's Coil late game also. But, worry about that later. Who do we got? We need Chance to Bleed. I mean... I don't think we really need Mirage or Maim. But is that better than Efficacy? I guess that's the problem. I think efficacy doesn't matter right now because we can't really level it. I think we'll just say that doesn't matter for the time being. Oh, actually, also Lily, give me Mana Forged arrows. I don't think I want to attach that to anything yet, but I will eventually want to. Yeah, Malevolence is the only other aura I really care about. Otherwise, maybe like a Grace, but we don't have enough, we don't have any mana preservation efficiency yet, so I don't want to run a 50%er yet. Actually, a bit too much. And right, okay, to the sewers. To the sewers. Worry about the ascendancy stuff later. It's not like ascendancy. If we really wanted to, we could skip. We could skip the first ascendancy for quite some time, and just come back for it later. But it's also still, it's still something. It's just not. It's really just not exciting. First ascendancy for Scion is always very uninteresting, unfortunately. Because we have all that we get is 2 skill points, which is not nothing. We'd still definitely take 2 skill points, but comparatively, it ain't that exciting. And then even then, next level after that, we also don't really get anything very exciting. We'll get a chance to avoid elemental ailments, basically, and like a decent chance for us to take elemental hits as if we have 90% elements. 26 with 30. Nah. Oop. Alright. We are close. Run! Manifold. We are still at 100% accuracy. Good. Very nice, very nice. Oh. Alright, I just finished it. Ooh. Alright. Coffee consumed. I was talking to my I've been learning on the side. I've been learning how to I've talked a little bit about it. But I've been learning how to code on the side. Just for the sake of it, because I would actually like to I would actually love to swap into doing some coding instead of what my current job is, because my current job is just kind of... It's just not very... Like, it's fine. As long as it pays the bills, that's really what matters, but it's not the most exciting thing to me. So I'd love to actually do something else. I would love to do something else, and so coding is kind of just filled that gap for now of learning and all that kind of stuff, and it's fun to do stuff with. But I kind of go in and out with like learning where I know that if I really just sit down and force myself to try to do it any amount of time throughout any day, then I'll wind up burning out pretty quick. So what I try to do is just kind of go like, okay, you know, I just set goals for myself where I'm like, okay, I want to do this in my coding project. I want to get this finished, and whenever I finish that, I can take a little break, and then whenever I come back, I have another goal already lined up and waiting for myself. So that's kind of what I've been doing. But man, every now and again, just like a game or something comes out that just really reignites that fire, and it's always funny to me what that game is. Like the initial game that really got me wanting to do it was Ball X Pit, which is a roguelite ball. I'm trying to think of the name of the game. Basically just what is that, Brick Breaker? It's like essentially Brick Breaker, right? Like roguelite Brick Breaker game. Absolutely adored that game. That game is so good. Also, there's a couple patches for that game coming out. I think one came out recently, and there's another one supposed to be coming out, I think, this summer. And I'm kind of just waiting. I'm kind of just waiting for that patch to come out, and then I'm probably gonna play through. I'll play through both of those at the same time. Make things explode. But I'll play through both of those at the same time, and it's gonna be really fun, again, to get back into that game. I will be thoroughly excited to get back into the game. But that was initially what started my desire to start coding. Is I was like, this seems like a game that is like yeah, there's a lot to code, and I'm sure it was difficult to make it run and all that kind of stuff. But at the same time, like, it's it's relatively simple. It's shrimple, but that's kind of like something that's nice with it. And yeah, I don't know. I just part of it just stuck with me as something where I was like, you know what, I want to try to learn how to do a game as well, even if it's just I'm making a game for myself. Who cares, right? Like I want to learn how to do it. Maybe I can eventually start doing something else work-wise related to coding as well. That'd be nice. And so that was the initial fire that got me going and got me excited. And then now recently, something else that like spun up that reignited the fire, and I wound up completing like another like 4 or 5 objectives in my game as well. Was Super Battle Golf. Because it's just, once again, it's just a battle golf game, you know? It's just, you're golfing, it has cosmetics, it's goofy, and, you know, and it's just, it is just such a fun game, and such a silly game as well, that it just really reignited that, like, that's what gaming is, and like making games is all about right there, man. Just having an idea and then just making something really fun out of it for people to enjoy. So, and for you yourself to enjoy too. I know I've been seeing the dev post on like Steam and stuff, being like, oh yeah, I was playing, and this one guy in particular, I think the dev said something about like they got hit by an object and then somebody stole their golf cart. And they're like, and because of that, I'm making a rocket powered golf club.
Watch yourself.
And I'm coming for your ass. And that was extremely funny to me. That's just, hey, you know what? Dev has a ton of fun with it too.
Bye.
Love to see it. Let's go over here. We're gonna take the left and take bloodletting. I think we're at what, 70% to bleed right now? Pretty low. Bleeding. Against to inflict bleeding from main hand hit. Pretty fine. What? Is this only... Oh, it's only 25. Oh, shit. I was thinking of Impale. Oh. Wait, yeah, that's way lower. Okay. Yeah, that's... I knew it was... Wait a second. Does this have... Yeah, it does have... Okay. Until we're able to get Venopuncture online, then we'll go up the right side. I think Venopuncture gives you another 25%. Then we can get some more just from the other generic nodes that are around, and that should fill our chance to bleed. Yeah, I didn't realize how low that was. Maybe we can get it on... We can get it on other things, too, I want to say. Might be able to get it on, like, jewels and shit. Oh!
It seems that even time loses its will in Ray class.
Yeah. Damn. It's an anime opening. I haven't listened to this song in a while. Shows remind me, I'm a little bit behind on anime again right now. I need to get caught back up on at least the shows I was watching. I got caught up on Jujutsu Kaisen, which is extremely good. But I think I'm behind by like an episode or 2 now, so I gotta re-catch up to that. And then I was starting to get caught up on Fire Force again. But I need to rework on that, because Fire Force is actually going, and this is like I think the second half of this core, which I believe this is the last season as well, so very, very curious to see where things go. Yeah, but yeah, that's all going on, and then I'd like to watch Hell's Paradise, and there's one other one. Jujutsu Kaisen, Fire Force, Hell's Paradise. What else is in there? I'm forgetting. Something else. There's something else that I've been excited to watch. I know it doesn't sound like it, because I forgot what it is. But I promise you, it was something I was excited about watching. The, anime's just been it's in such a good spot. There's just so much of it. But I am very excited as well. I will be the most excited for, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, when that comes out with part 7. I think that comes out this summer? Did they say summer? They might have said summer. I don't remember anymore. But I fucking love JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Fucking love that show. Very excited. Very excited to hop back into that whenever that comes out. Hey,
What is that?
what's that you have, Knocked Cockroach?
I like that.
I like you, Knocked Cockroach. What do we got? +1 to maximum energy shield. Holy. To the sewers. You know, at least Gravicius moves a lot. He just kind of runs. So, reasonably, he should bleed quite nicely. He's very submissive and bleedable. Boop. Usually after I kill Piety is when I go do first lab, which I think I'll stick true to. It's a usually a pretty good spot. Yeah, level 33. That will be good. Hello. Fuck you. Bro, on Women's History Month? Talking mad shit on Women's History Month? Can't believe this. Ow. There we go. And I am forever glad that they added Aggravate as a way to actually make bleed builds work. I do remember way back a long time ago when I was relatively new at the game. I'd maybe back when I had like 1,000 hours roughly in the game, so new but not super new, obviously. I did a build. It was the only hardcore character I've ever made because I don't run hardcore. I don't like hardcore. I don't find it exciting, honestly. Like, I mean, sure, your heart rate goes up because you might die, but that's kind of the annoying part to me. I don't want to have just essentially wasted all of my time leveling a character and then dying to some kind of one shot. Or also, you know, there's a lot of builds out there where it's like, I mean, you have to build differently in hardcore. You have to build far tankier, and I just don't. I'd rather just see how much damage I can squeeze in and do a stupid build, rather than, you know, how well can I survive and also try to fit in some amount of damage as well in there. So it just becomes not very exciting to me. But I might have to sneeze. I sneezed. Anyway, the character I made was a Bleed Quake. I think it was a Gladiator still. It was just a Bleed Earthquake Gladiator. Bleed Quake. And back then, they didn't have Aggravate. And that character was so fucking painful to get through the game with. It was really tanky. It made it all the way through to level 90, and I think even did Uber Lab and some other stuff. Like, did not have good damage because you couldn't aggravate bleed or anything. It was just, you had to hope that whatever you were fighting, you essentially could just try to kite him. You just applied a big bleed, try to have a damage multi on it, try to have like a way to make him bleed a little bit quicker, and then you just kind of tried to kite him, just so that maybe they will move around and take more damage from moving while bleeding. And that was the whole build, and that character made me lose my mind. I think I got to level 90 because I wanted to finish all of the hardcore achievements on that character. So I pushed him all the way to that point anyway. I got him level 90, got him through Uber Lab. And I think that was everything for hardcore. Those were the only 2 requirements. And then I want to say I was trying to at the time. I was trying to get him killed. You know, obviously I was gonna like still try, but I was just gonna see, you know, at what point do I just, is this character just like, whatever, he just falls over dead. But I was on hardcore trade, and at the time, obviously with no no Faustus or anything like that to actually manage your shop and whatnot. I tried to trade for like 20 minutes to just get like a Guardian Shaper map or whatever. Try to get like a Minotaur map and just see if Minotaur would kill me. And I was like, I'll run the Shaper Guardians, and then if I can kill them, then I'll just go run Shaper. And I probably died to Shaper. And I could not get a trade for the life of me. Which, see, it was even difficult until recently to get a trade in standard, so, or in regular non-hardcore, so. Could you just go through there? So it did not surprise me, but it was incredibly annoying. That is why forever one of my favorite changes to this game will be the addition of the market. Because it was always so mind-numbing in this game when you're, especially like trying to level an alt character like I'm doing right now. Like the setup to actually go buy all the items that I wanted to run, whether it be now or a little bit later in the character, super cheap. Took like no time at all. Took me like, you know, max like 5 minutes to just like go between hideout to hideout and all the load screens and everything, but everything was very easy and streamlined. What it used to be is just sitting there and just mashing Whisper until you finally get somebody to respond to you because it's a 1C trade and nobody wants to... Yeah, keep moving, Piety. Bye.
Damn you!
Nobody wants to take the time to do a 1C trade if they're in like a map or something, so...
You should die.
Just so annoying
Over for what
to
you've
do
done.
previously, but that's why I'm so glad forever that they were like, you know what, fine, here's the market.
You plan. Tread carefully.
Be careful.
Alright. Skill point acquired. Which is just this. I don't think any of these really matter right now. We could just take the... Ignore physical damage reduction here. Trying to think. You know, or we could go up here to Veteran Soldier, because that's also a good one. Let's see, or just come over here. Maybe get Leader of the Pack. Actually, no, let's get the life nodes. I have been skimping out on life nodes really heavily right now. Let's get the life nodes, and then maybe we make our way up there. Let's take a look at how much decks we have. If it feels like we need more decks, then we'll go over here next and maybe go up here for Farsight. Yeah, that's the plan. But for now, let's get Golem's Blood. We need some life. Okay, before we go to the lab, I need to use the bathroom. So let's go up here. Alright, and I will be right back. Okay, we are so back. Let's do lab. What I'm thinking here, what I'm thinking with my thinkles, is I will run this character on this recording probably through first 5 acts, because we should be able to reasonably get through that pretty quick, and then I'll make a second recording for the second half. There's a part of me that wants to see if I could maybe stream the second half to see if they've actually, like, finished it. I might try. Because also I think leveling-wise, like, I think in campaign, the strain shouldn't be nearly as much. I sure did not actually choose him. Yeah, not the craziest single target, that kind of as I expected.
You were born for this.
And off he goes.
Empire must be built to weather any
But
storm.
fine. The first lab is always easiest anyway. Always pretty easy. I feel like I've got over time. I mean, I have, but over time it feels like I've gotten a lot more competent at lab as well. I'm still not a very fond speed. I'm still not a very big fan of lab. But I probably like it more than I like some of the trials in Path 2 at the very least. Especially more than I like Trial of Chaos or whatever that is. God, I hate Ultimatum so much. Did I ever play that? Yeah, I did. I am just firmly not a I'm just so firmly not a Ultimatum enjoyer. There are certain builds that clear the Ultimatum trial very easily, and it's by far and away better than running Trial of the Sekimas, but I just don't like Ultimatum for Trial of Chaos. It's not very fun. I'll be curious to see how the Trial of the Ancestors works. So since we're getting that seems like it's going to be the third method of ascendancy. Most likely will be the Ancestors. Woo. Yeah, I used to far more consistently get hit by his double slash. I still sometimes do. I feel like it's worse with his like backswing slash like that. I feel like I get hit a lot when it comes to minion builds mostly because I can't tell all the time like which minion he is actually looking at before he does the swing. So I can't tell which direction he's facing, and then I accidentally just move right in the way of it and die. And I'm like, God damn it. But alas, it happens. Okay. What is my resistance? Should be kind of, yeah, I was gonna say, I think my resistances are pretty low since we took Gold Rim off. We might put Gold Rim back on for the second half. In fact, I probably will, just because having some amount of resistances while leveling is nice. So I'll probably put those back on, but for the time being, let's do this. And over here. Boop. A Colossal Life Blast. Wait a second. Colossal is bigger than Giant. Yippee! Alright, so we're at level 35. Nice, nice, nice. I know we're gonna need a good bit of intelligence for malevolence later. Oops, not that one. We need intelligence for malevolence. I wonder if that might be the only thing. I'm actually not sure. There might be one other thing that we need intelligence for, but we're gonna need some intelligence. Thunderstorms, all three of those guys. That's fine.
Withstand the siege.
Withstand the siege. You swipe. There you go. Yeah, it's way easier to dodge that in, way easier to dodge that when it's just you. Hey, Reliquarian, baby! Damn. Yeah, so I think the idea here is probably Kilowava's Bluster. We probably do that. We could maybe do Bruce's Ambition just for a little bit more speed early on, and then later it'd be back to Kilowava's Bluster. Vitario's would also make sense, but I think we're going with this, and then we'll make our way down here, and we're going to get Jack the Axe here, level 30 Thirst for Blood. The other option would be Widow Hail, but I think it'll be Jack the Axe. And then over here in this area, I guess if we really need attributes, we can take Astra Menace, but ideally we probably just take Warp Timepiece. There isn't really anything over here that's really ridiculously crazy for us. Burden of Truth would also be okay, but I think we go Warped Timepiece, and we just go Warp Timepiece for debuff expiration. Right, we get 2 points. So let's go. What did I say I was gonna do? That reminds me, is there still that? Yeah, good old Onslaught. But we don't really have a way to make that happen permanently. Okay. We could go here for the damaging ailment stuff. We could go up here for this bleed. Gives us 15% more as well off rip. Whenever time, fizz damage with bows. We could just take these 2 points too. You know, let's take these 2 points. That'll be where that goes. Then, oh, you know, maybe we do start making our way over here, because this will be life and gives us some more on veteran soldier. How much dex do we have right now? 176. What do we need for like Rain of Arrows and shit? 81, 54. This needs 80 dex. So yeah, we're well ahead on the dexterity front. So let's just I think let's just try to get some other stuff going. Whoop. Garbage. And gems. We'll just go with the blue, most likely. Yeah. Does this have quality? It does have quality. Give that one. Transform. Go. What do we got? Oh, Frostblink. People still like Frostblink of Wintry? I don't know. Guess we'll see. Let's take a looky-loo. Frostblink of Wintry Blast. Yeah, people still care about this. Nice. 60C. Cool. Very excellent. I'll go put that up for sale right now. Yeah, I think that'll... Now that I think about it as well, I think that works out time-wise for me as far as food goes too. We'll get through all the way through Act 5. I'll go get some food, and then I might even just see about just starting up stream like right afterwards, truthfully. I'll sever the right hand. Right. You give me? Fucking nothing good. Tornado shot. Cyclone. There is technically a world where we could use, instead of Rain of Arrows, we could technically use Tornado Shot, because there's Tornado Shot of Cloudburst that like fires it up into the air and then lands on the ground and sprays out. But I don't necessarily think that's better. But maybe. Also, I'll be slightly greedy. I'll put it up. I might put this up for 65. You know what, let's just look. What if I said quality with like 20 qual already? And a 70C. Do I care that much then? No. Nah, we'll just throw it up for 60. Whatever. Whatever, man. So where we are? Oh, right. It's time to go over yonder ways. Over yonder ways. I think we'll probably eventually look into getting a Forbidden Flesh and Flame. Obviously, we can't take anything. GGG said you can't get anything from Reliquarian because it changes every league. So I think they just don't want to essentially program that every league, which is fair. And also, I think it would just be a an absolutely insane amount of power. So,
This tower is
can't get
so
anything
tall.
from that, but we can take something from regular Scion, or regular Ascendant. So we could probably go with. Well, I was kind of debating. I initially thought Deadeye, but I don't think Deadeye actually makes sense. I always, like when I was initially pondering it, I always forget that that bow builds absolutely just get free frenzy charges, because I was worried about frenzy charge generation for Alessa's Delight. But we absolutely get those for free, more or less, by virtue of we get those for free with Mana Forged Arrows plus Frenzy. So reasonably, we shouldn't need that whatsoever. So we could do good old Pathfinder is always a classic. I don't really know what other ones we could really want. I think Champion has a decent one as well. For like, we can't get, I think it's melee hits Fortify, so we won't be getting Fortify, but we could get, there is at least, I think that that gives you Taunt, and when enemies are taunted, they take more damage, and there might be like one other thing that was a plus to it as well. So there's certainly things to consider there, but Pathfinder is like always going to be a very, very solid choice. So we got that. Yeah, let's just start making our way over and take a Veteran Soldier here. Give us that Fizz dot. Oh yeah, actually, what is... even Precision right now doesn't need a ton of Dexterity, so that's nice. That's nice, very nice. Also might be time to be a man standing emoji. I haven't really... I think I haven't been standing enough recently. Although I feel like I've got a classic case of the I just don't actually keep track of any of that, because like I'll be standing around, and I think I stand around for quite a long time, and then as soon as I sit down, because I'm like, man, my legs are tired, let's sit down. And as soon as I sit down, my legs are like, man, you lazy piece of shit, bro, you're not even standing right now. Well, now guess what? Now I just want to be stretched out all the time, and you should be standing. So it's like a lose-lose with it. Sit down because I'm tired. Body immediately makes me feel like I'm lazy. Boop. Up the stairs. And to the rooftop. Up on the rooftop. Reindeer paw. Reindeer
I
paws.
offered the gift of exile, and you used it to reinvent yourself. I couldn't wish for a more potent beast.
Potent. Submit, heretic.
Have you ever seen the true face of God, Exile?
Die!
Honka.
The light of divinity!
I just forget that that Poacher's Mark also gives you life and mana on hit. Because I think on my... I want to see on my tree right now, it says that I'm getting life and mana back, and I was like, where am I getting this leech? And now I remember, it's because of Poacher's Mark. But if we eventually move to a point where we're going to be using vulnerability, then Poacher's Mark isn't going to matter. Damn, bro. What'd you eat? I can just stand here. just Dominus, after all. Nothing crazy. Yes, sir. See ya.
Prefer the view.
To the aqueduct. Blah, blah, blah.
I've killed the puppet. Now I just need to follow the strings.
Pop it. I wonder when we're actually gonna get. I wonder when we're actually gonna get dialogue lines for. Is it Marauder and Shadow? I think are the last two. Pretty sure Scion has lines. I think it's sold. Let's go. I think it's just Marauder and I think it's just Marauder and Shadow that don't have character lines anymore. Pretty sure everybody else does. I don't know when we're gonna get those, because as much as it's like, is it a big deal? No, but I do actually like all of the characters having their voice lines, and also just like, since a majority of the characters do have all of their voice lines, it almost feels weird now when I do play Marauder or Shadow, and they just stop talking after a certain point. I'm just like, oh, all right, you don't have anything to say about this. It's a minor little detail, but it does feel like it's the minor details that really make a game, though. You know, of course, the main game itself has to be good and stellar and all that kind of stuff, but the main game will always have to be stellar, and it will always have to be good, because of course it does. But it really does, if you don't have, like, if you're missing minor details, and it's enough to the point where people start to notice those minor details aren't in the game, where it'd be like, it'd be cool if this was here, you know, like, oh, it's kind of weird that this isn't here, and all that kind of stuff. It's like, it feels like it starts to become like, you know, people are, you know, then it starts to just become a thing where you'll start to notice more things, and some of the things about the game will fall apart. Like, that's how I feel about Diablo 4, where it's like, it doesn't necessarily do that much wrong, but there's just so many little things that just always kill me. There's just so many things that I feel like I wind up nitpicking over that I don't like, that it gets to a point where I'm just like, okay, well, now I'm not enjoying this experience at all. And as much as this is like an example completely on the other side of the spectrum, but like, then you have games that have come out recently, like Resident Evil Requiem, which nails a lot of those really small details as well, and is just like an outstanding game. That it starts to become, it's like when you have all those small details in there, it becomes a very much so more of a fulfilling experience. But let's crank shit just like a little bit more. Just a wee bit. Just because as much as I'm listening to music in the background, or, you know, occasionally being called Good Boy by Leon, doesn't mean I shouldn't have something playing for you guys too. Unless you're just listening to your own music too. Which is also, I highly recommend. I debated on even having music turned on in the first place, just in case, you know, anybody watching does just want to listen to their own music in the background, but, yeah. I think it's quiet enough to where you can still have your own on and won't notice it. Yeah, all the small details in Ari are so good. Just like, even when like Leon's reloading or something, and he has the regular flashlight, and he'll like put the regular flashlight between his shoulder and his cheek so that he can reload like that. Is always just, it's just a lot of those small details that I find are very cool. There's a lot of neat things about that game. Identify.
Be careful.
37. Do I have a Poacher's Mark's over there, right? Yeah. Oh, wait. Is there a red in there, too? No. Okay. Let's get a red socket going in there as well. There we go. Poacher, and then where is Gems? And there's Life Top. Okay. Let's get through A5 here. Wait, is this A4? This is A4. I'm crazy. I don't know why I said this was A5. So roll 38. Put that on. Don't even gotta cast it no more. Sheesh, sheesh pog. Constitution. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Cool. And we'll take the Phys Mastery for more physical damage as well. I hate Lightning Storm. I don't say hate Lightning Storm just because it's so ridiculously loud for like no reason. Those lightning zaps are wicked loud. Oh. Bleh. And so him go bleh. Dead lol. Dead ass, even. No, I just don't really have any other rings right now. I was gonna say, because, like, Blackheart does not matter right now. Do I really not have anything else? I mean, I guess, what other ring would I really want to run? Unowned. Let's just take a quick look. Betrayal's Sting might eventually become... Well, no. No, that's poison. Never mind. I'm talking out me ass. It'll be another 11 levels before we can actually use... Venopuncture, so... We need other options. Oh, good old Lahoop. I guess that's true. I don't have a Lahoop. Maybe we should just look into buying a Lahoop really quick. I think that will be better. Yeah, I think let's just buy a Lahoop really quick, and then we can keep on keeping on for now. Nothing else really crazy in here, I don't think. No. No other, like, really obvious ones, anyway. We'll get Venopuncture in 11, grab a Lahoop, move on our way.
We've made a trade.
Is her? Lahoop. Oops. Lahaye. Which is French for the hay. Let's filter by stats. Let's go min 21 on Ellie Res. 17 all at. That's probably fine, truthfully. Yeah, we'll just grab this one. It doesn't matter that much. That might give us enough, might give us enough. Hell, but then we need mana res, so if we were to do that.
It's a gilded wonder.
It's a gilded wonder. Well, 20 returning proj. Oh, right, because every time they pierce, yeah. That's pretty neat, at least. I am ultimately glad that they added Foulborn items to the game. I think they're really cool. So, what does this put my mana at? It's a little sus. Let's try it out, though. Let's give it a go. Give it the old college try. The highest of gates. Time is it? do? Okay, I might actually need to go heat up some food now, truthfully, and take a quick just pause the video kind of break. Maybe I'll do that after... Maybe I'll do that after Act 4 here or something? We will see, because I really do need to go work out today. We're still 4 levels ahead, so I'm just gonna skip this one. I do gotta go work out today, and I know if I don't eat, then it's gonna be a not fun time. And I've been really bad about eating, like, just not consistently throughout the day. So, like, and it's mostly because, it is honestly mostly because of this coffee here, truthfully. It's like, I'll wake up, I'll eat, like, a small something for breakfast, because I'm also, like, when I initially wake up, I'm not usually ridiculously hungry, so I'll wake up and have something kind of light. Some kind of breakfasty grub, kind of light. And then I might have, and then I kind of, like, I drink my coffee, and then it suppresses my appetite for so long that it won't be until, like 3, 4 p.m. when I finally get hungry again. And then I'll eat something, and then maybe like an hour or two later I'll go to the gym. But by then I haven't had enough to eat. So then the gym experience is not a fun one, because I don't have enough food in me, so if I'm trying to push any kind of heavy weight, well, hey, guess what? I don't have enough in me to actually push through it, so it just becomes not very fun. Constitution! Of course you're a fucking ghost, too. So I just need to get better about doing that, because then also the other thing is, like, I go to the gym, I usually don't have a good time because I don't have enough grub in me. I eventually figure it out, or, you know, I get through however much I can get through. And then when I get home, I eat like a little thing of protein, and then like shower and whatever else. And then after that, I actually have like my real dinner, which is then usually too much, because I really haven't eaten throughout the day. So then I eat too much, and it's very easy for me to wind up overeating or just not feeling great afterwards. Because then I haven't really eaten anything throughout the day, so I just got to get more consistent about that. So I think what we'll do is I'll go up to killing Calm and Duresso, and then take a quick little food break. I'll just pause recording. You guys won't notice anything. I'll just pause recording, eat my food, and then when we get back, keep on keeping on through the end of Act 5 at least. Orb of Chance. Take a chance on me. Chaos Orb, I'm rich. I bet you're jealous right now. I bet you're so jealous of my 1 Chaos Orb. Nah, I might run... I'm gonna run Mirage in Duresso and Calm's area, but not in here. Skip for now. Go to Calm first. I like Calm's area less. Calm's the easier boss, but his area is more annoying. I guess I shouldn't say either of them are necessarily difficult bosses. It's just Duresso has a million, Duresso has a more billion phases. I like to think of myself more as a rook. Mr. Zadok. Man, what a cock he is in in Path of Exile 2 as the final boss. I think I've only ever really bothered getting hitting max ascendancy on a couple of characters, because I still like to make dumb builds even in Path of Exile 2. I still like to make dumb builds, and also there's a lot of builds in that game where you actually kind of just don't need your 4th ascendancy. It'd be something where it's like, it'd be nice to have, but it's not really that big of a deal. And so, I do a lot of dumb builds, and who knows, and a lot of the time it's just kind of like, yeah, that isn't really going to work out, but I've made a couple of builds that wound up being quite effective, to the point where I was willing to go in and fight Zarok. I'd done the Trial Master fight. I don't think I have, because every time I've never been at a point where I want to farm. I haven't wanted to farm Ultimatum enough to actually get all of the pieces to go in and fight Trial Master again. And usually they are quite expensive to just buy as well. It's expensive to buy those fragments. And I don't usually, like, play for long enough to really have, like, a huge... Or I don't stay in the end game long enough to have a huge amount of currency. Because Path of Exile 2 has this thing right now where, like, the end game is fun, and it's getting better. It is especially getting better over time. But there isn't enough content in every map to really make me want to keep playing a character in the end game. So it's like, at most I get a character up to, like, you know, I can run red maps, and maybe I do get to the, like, tier 16 end maps, and then I kind of stop before really getting to, like, some turbo bosses or anything like that. I'll maybe try, like, maybe I'll get to, like, the ritual boss up to, like, tier 2, or the breach boss up to tier 2 or something, but I don't usually push much further than that, because there just isn't enough content in every map yet to really keep me invested like there is in Path 1. So that's kind of the other thing as to why I don't really have that. So I haven't fought Trial Master, but Zarok, though, at the end of Phallosekimas, I feel like I can fairly consistently make my way to, but he is a real bastard. Finally had a really good build that just was able to one cycle and kind of rinse him this last league, though, which was nice, which was my my Hollow Palm Amazon. That was very effective. I hadn't really thought about how effective that particular character and that particular setup was going to be, but that character thoroughly impressed me. I genuinely think with just an actual quarterstaff in that game, doing like an actual just like quarterstaff setup is probably better than Hollow Palm, but I had never done a Hollow Palm setup, so I wanted to do one. But I think with a quarterstaff, that build probably goes even further, probably goes even harder. So who knows? Maybe I wind up making another build with that at some point, because I love the quarterstaff skills. They're probably my favorite in the game. I'm gonna skip this one. I'm so slow. The explodey crystals. Eep. That was... got a lot of strength right now. 47 intelligence, I just realized. Yeah, we are not very smart. That is more or less what I anticipated. This is going to be very much so... Well, we'll just need to run, like... We might just... Endgame amulet might just be like a Lapis amulet. We don't really need... I don't think there's really, like, a unique amulet that really matters in particular for this skill setup that we're doing with damage over time stuff. I don't think there is anyway, so we're just going to be running... We'll just run a rare with some dot multi and some like added phase to attacks or something, and just kind of generic stuff. Although there might be something with
Save your breath.
I'll have to look. There might be something that's good for influence. There might be a good influence modifier for that. I actually haven't looked.
I am there. You've done yourself proud.
Cool. Get a pretty good amount of Fizz multi here.
Bye-bye.
I am Bereso, the Sword King. It was here in the gates of the office.
Nyom. Also, hopefully I don't make the mistake in here, and that now that I'm saying it out loud, hopefully this is a mental reminder for myself to not walk in a circle in this area. I've done that way too many times, where I just take the full long-ass circle that can spawn in Duresso's dream here. It takes way longer in here. It's here and the Act 6, I can't even remember, like the ledge area in Act 6, basically, right after what's his face, Tukohama. Tukohama. Oh, is the Mirage over there? Oh no, the Mirage is up here. Okay. I feel like the Mirage goes really, really far in these areas that have very tight corridors. Like, it doesn't feel like it goes that far. It really doesn't feel like it goes this far, like, in areas that are wide open. I guess maybe it's just because it's just far more circular, but it feels like there's so much more shoved into these areas like that. Oasis Ground. It's, Oasis Ground is not that big of a deal, but whatever. I kind of wish Oasis Ground did more, truthfully. The fact that it's just life and mana restoration while you're standing on it is kind of whatever. But it's fine. One of the most fun things that I've had happen in maps so far, though, with Mirage has been you get the Wish for Godhood, right, which gives you an Echoing Shrine and a Divine Shrine, so you literally just can't die. And then in that same Mirage area, there was an ultimatum. So literally can't die ultimatum, completely free ultimatum, and that was super nice. I actually thoroughly enjoyed that. I think the only way that you could lose at that point would be if you took Ruin. I think Ruin can still hit, because it's just like you still get hit, you just don't take any damage. So I'm pretty sure Ruin could still foil your run, but otherwise, just being able to go for free ultimatums is great. Absolutely loved that as an option. And over here. What level? Well, I guess it doesn't matter again. I was gonna say, what level can you even equip? Actually, I should check. I wonder how expensive Asenaths even are this league. I feel like the last few leagues, Asenaths has been super, super cheap. Well, let's see. Yep, still 5C. And level 25. Oh, it does curse enemies with temp chains. Oh, that's right. Okay, so actually we don't even really need to... I guess, you know what? Maybe we just grab one. Maybe we just grab one and say screw it, and then I'll set up the Mana Forge with Frenzy. I forgot how early on those gloves are. It's time to hunt. I also forgot that that it by itself applies temporal chains. We got our fizz dot there. Should just be this one. Yep. And there they go. A battle worthy of song. I wonder how much. I forget what the cost multi on. I forget what the cost multi on Mana Forged Arrows is. Reasonably, if it's too much anyway, we can just set it on life cap support anyway. It won't matter. Fortunately, that means we got to get rid of Poacher's Mark. I like Poacher's Mark just from like a comfort perspective, but not that big of a deal. I want to say the only other thing we're really gonna have to like keep an eye on for this character will probably be accuracy. We're not tech. Well, we're at 100, but not at 100 right now too. Yeah, we're definitely gonna have to keep an eye on accuracy. I think accuracy might wind up becoming slightly problematic. No, I'm trying to think if I just carry on until we get to
Yes. Bye.
carry on until we get to Act 5, start of Act 5. Maybe we do. I always forget that it's reasonably not that much longer from now. In we go. Although, nah, it's okay. We'll stick with Poacher's Mark throughout this. Once we're in Act 5, we'll go grab an Asenath's and start making that adjustment. Wonder what the turbo valuable stuff is this league. I mean, it's probably got to be. Oh right, this is the yeah. There's a Heart of Corruption in here, and there's a bunch of gems in here. Yeah, there's a bunch of Vol gems that will drop in here. Yeah, there's Vol Smite. I guess it was just Vol Smite this time, but there's one time, the first time I did it with my buddy, a bunch of regular gems in there dropped too. Kind of neat. Forgot about that little side area. I love that they add little things to do as you're running around in the campaign. It's a fun little addition. 38, we're still 5 levels ahead. I'm fine with just cruising. Fart level 2. More like fart level 2. I guess true, actually. If we had, you know, it's actually for the best that we don't put, it's for the best we don't put Asenath's on right this instant, because we're gonna fight, Doedry, and Doedry is just gonna reflect temp chains right back onto us. Should be quite annoying. I believe for the mark, she'll just clear it. I forget what she does for mark skills. She might just clear the mark. I don't think that can be reflected. But it just won't. It'll basically go on her for all of 1 second and then immediately just get removed. Hells of the Beast. Hi.
The wonder child now, Scion.
Oh, brutality support. Yeah, that's what else I'm wanting to put onto this. I was like, I feel like there's another gem I'm missing. I shouldn't be using Mirage. Yes.
habit.
It really hurts. See ya.
This twisting of flesh and light.
Do-do-do-do.
Brilliant.
Insane in the membrane. Insane in the brain. Fair point. Ow. I will say, because I remember that they said that they were going to do this for this league with Mirage, but just like, I kind of hope that they keep the idea of this anyway, which is the, that in every area, they added a bunch more, like, stuff, right? Because, like, the Mirage areas, are supposed to have, you know, if you have an essence on the outside, there's an essence inside the Mirage, too. And so they added a lot more, of those encounters to the campaign. But honestly, I kind of hope that they keep... I kind of hope that's something that they keep after the campaign. Because even if I don't interact with all of it or something, just having the option there to just go, okay, I'm going to... You know, okay, I'm gonna... You know, there's a bunch of essence, like, every zone having at least, you know, like, an essence, or every zone having a, every zone having, like, an essence, or a strongbox, or something like that is,
The world doesn't want your kind of beauty, Chevron.
It's quite nice, and also just allows us to level even further beyond, truthfully. Oop. So I do hope that's something that is left in the game. I don't know that it will be, but it would be nice. It's a minor thing. Oop. Yeah, she just clears the mark, but then that doesn't actually get applied. Actually, I forget. Yeah, okay, I was gonna say, can all three be applied to you? Yes. Yeah, if you stand in the middle, you absolutely get all three of them. There's an achievement as well linked to fully clearing the harvest, and I know that I've done it multiple times, because I've killed everything in here, and then ran around like a maniac for an extra, like, 10-20 minutes looking for any monsters, and made sure I did absolutely everything in the area, and it just did not give me the achievement for whatever reason, so... This is another achievement that I'm missing for whatever reason. Hi, Piety. Time for you to explode.
You could not be more perfect, Scion. So now it is
Aw,
up to
thank you.
us to commit one final act of creation. A single death that will mark the rebirth of an entire world.
Now, Exile!
Whoop. Oh, there we go. I was like, did not put the mark on. There we go. There we go, that's better. When we get to Act 5, we're gonna put Brutality on, and then probably try to get a better bow as well that just has physical damage on it, because I think this bow also has fire damage on it. Yeah, it does. Blech. Absolutely impaled. And not in, like, the fun way.
Let us see if you truly understand what it means to be Nightmare.
I don't, because I'm cute.
Gave me so much.
Bleed, you some bitch. Bleed.
Accept the gift of
Immortality. I do still think early bleed is one of the... Early bleed is one of the weaker abilities, or at least it feels like. I think if you run in like a lacerate or something, maybe. In love with death. And goodbye. Cool. Easy peasy clear, brother. Actually, I wonder what gems get offered to us here. Multi-strike will be. I assume multi-strike, spell echo, greater multiple projectiles, that stuff. Nothing that really matters that much, I believe. Do. Diala. Yas Queen. Oh, Chain, GMP, Multi-Strike, Spell Echo, Himalayan Unleash, Great Volley, Return, COHK. Rigid Bond. I mean, just take that, but I'm not going to actually use any of that. Red Banner. Oh, these are all Link skills, too. Go Gadget Void Sphere. No, none of that. I'll probably just hold this GMP for the future. Hold this Pants Grab. And I can just go out on the... Alright, let's get to A5 Town. Then I will be taking a very quick break. But again, you won't notice anything. I'll just pause the recording while I eat and all that kind of good stuff. And then we'll be so back. Also, probably just buy an Asenaths while I'm eating. I'll probably like buy Asenaths and set up maybe a couple other things really quick, like set up mana forged arrows and switch around our sockets and all that kind of stuff. But I'll talk about whatever changes I make. I'll try to remember to talk about when we after these short messages. Bada bing, bada boom. Pull the lever, Kronk. Wrong lever! I genuinely really thought about getting a tattoo of the Emperor's New Groove. Specifically the scene. Specifically the scene where they're having Yzma, Kronk and Cusco are all having the dinner, and Kronk doesn't remember which drink has the poison in it, so he just puts the poison in all three of them. Poison. And then obviously tells Yzma, don't drink the poison. And he's like doing that number, and then she dumps it on the cactus, and in the background, if you look of that scene, the cactus also becomes it becomes llama shaped when you look at it later on. Like after she dumps it on it, and it goes back over to Yzma, the cactus is a llama. And I thought about getting very specifically just a tattoo of the cactus llama from that movie. It would just be a very, very niche reference to that movie. Just because it's a movie I grew up with, I have a lot of memories, and I quote a lot. And, you know, it reminds you of good times of your childhood. Also, I like getting tattoos. Not that I'm somebody that's gonna get, like, tattoos all over me, like my brother does or anything. You know, I've got probably just stick to my arms, and once my arms are more or less... Oh, this was kind of a short slave fence. Nice. Once my arms are more or less, not sleeve, but just once they kind of are to the point where I'm like, that's a bit much, then I'll probably just be done. I don't really see myself getting an insane amount of tattoos. But I think they're fun. I just think they're neat. Let me in the town! Bonnie. Identify. That would actually... Wow, my, on League Start, my Holy Strike Slayer would have loved this ring. Decent, I mean, no life, but attack speed, some resistances, and some flat added elemental damage. Victor would have loved that. Oh well. Okay. Like I said, I'm going to take a very quick break. But I'm just going to set up a couple other things on the side. When I get back, I'll talk about whatever I set up. But yeah, it's going to be time to take a very quick break and kind of get things ready. I will just pause the recording here, so you aren't even going to notice that I'm gone. So I will see you in just a minute. Alright, I am back. So, as you can see, number one, we've upped our drip, most importantly. Got our drip updated. And then we have new bow here. Nothing crazy, but it just is pure fizz, and then I threw some damage over time on it, so decent little upgrade there, at least should be. We're still using Driscoll for now, that's fine. And then here we are, we have Astronaut's Gentle Touch here, so that'll be nice. Did I do anything else? I don't think so. Oh, and then I swapped out Mirage Archer for Brutality. We're keeping everything in here. I believe everything in here is otherwise going to be the same all the way through until we get Void Storm, in which case Void Storm will replace Cruelty. So we should be good now. So with that, let's just make our way through. Let's make our way through Act 5 here, and then we'll call that good for the time being. Ooh, do one more thing. Taking up a protein drink. Premier protein, strawberries and cream. Be a bit slower on the attack speed now, which is always a bummer, but it is what it is. Yeah, pop. We got the sand pops going for us. Yay! So it should make our clear just a little bit nicer, or at the very least, just having these guys getting hit by, these guys just getting hit with, temp change should be just a nice change of pace thing. Oh, right, also I have a Frenzy on Mana Forged Arrows right now, as we removed Blocktonial Caresses. So now we have Frenzy on that, and ow. So fast. So yeah, Frenzy, Mana Forged Arrows, and that has Life Tap on it too. Actually, well, yeah, we probably need the Life Tap for now, honestly. Lead. These guys are always, I hate these guys, these slave driver guys. At least I hate them while you don't have any resistances, because it feels like they put a pretty big slap on you.
The Templars should have seen this coming.
Still always love all the eye puns that come out of killing that guy. Always something seeing or something else related.
I return with the power to make a difference.
Not yet. Let's see, we don't have Impales yet, so we're just gonna take the more max fizz, and then we're gonna start, I think, making our way over here. Yeah, we want to get Leader of the Pack down for sure, and then we can probably get Farsight. So I believe that is our next plan. What level are we? We're 45, I think. What is second lab? Like 58 or something? Somewhere around there. Really is a bummer that we just don't get our Jack the Axe until much later. Be this same place, but doubled, Act 10. That's when we'll start actually looking for that. Play it. Well, 42, 45. We're only 3 levels above now, so I probably will go ahead and run this. Ooh, holy. Yeah, shield charge like that almost took me out. Oh wait, no, that's right. I have the 1900 plus. Basis, body armor. Yeah, let's just do. Let's do that. Activating a new waypoint. Save me, Oasis ground. I wonder how much life and mana regen it gives you. Is it percentage or is it flat? Yeah, you are regenerating life and mana, so I have no idea. I suppose I could open up my character sheet and look, but also it doesn't matter because it's just so temporary and requires you to stand in this one particular area. Oop. What is it? An armor scrap. Let's go. Level up. Dexterity. Alright, what's our chance to bleed right now? 65. That is still pretty low. Maybe I should instead make my way over towards the other bleed node that we actually have more. Maybe. Golden Gin. Ow. Yeah, I do. And Templar Quartz. Yeah, boy. Oh man, my buddy on the side, he just pinged me right now. He's apparently RuneScape upped their prices again. He's a big OSRS gamer. I am not so much. I did my time with OSRS. OSRS was fun, but I don't know. I just never really got back into it. Once I hit my like, yeah, I've done my time on this. I just really never went back to it. I know that they've done a lot of. I know that they keep updating it and they make a lot of cool new changes for it. But yeah, man, it is wild to see. They just keep upping the cost of membership. Because I remember they did like there was that whole like controversy with them a while ago where they put out like a feeler thing and they're like, what if we put ads into the game? It made you pay way more money and only certain levels of member. It's like Hulu, but for OSRS, where they're like, you could pay and you get ads in the game still, or you could pay even more and then you won't get those ads anymore. And everybody was like, what the fuck are you on about? And now they have just gone through and just upped the price again. It's kind of wild. Kind of wild. This is getting way too damn expensive for everything. Too expensive for everything these days. I can't wait to live through. Can't wait to live through another like market crash or something. That'll be fun.
Such a beautiful house of lies.
Alright, let's see. So what do we have? We have to fight Innocence here. And then we have through the Burning Courts. Gotta get the staff, gotta get the torments, and then it's just go up and kill Kitava. Yeah, reasonably, it is always nice that at the very least Acts 5 and 10 are pretty short. Like you can clear through them pretty quick. I don't know how well the Innocence fight and everything will go, but and I'm sure realistically, especially this early on in the character's life and everything, like, would it probably be better to be running something like a Split Arrow or a Puncture? Yeah, probably, but yes, I'm not about that life. We're eventually going to be running this with Voidstorm, then bet that we're just going to be running this till we get Voidstorm. So we're going for Master Wounds. At the very least, I'm going to take the bleed chance right now. It might just be an early... You know what? Actually, let's just get rid of this point now. Let's just take the bleed chance, because this puts us at 90% chance to bleed. Right? Or is this 80%? No, there's an 80% chance to bleed. Yeah, 80%. Right, I can't map. Puts us at 80%, and in 2 levels, actually, we can put on... Venopuncture, which will fill our chance to... That will fill our chance to bleed, which will be great. Oh shit, that actually means I'm gonna have to get rid of Praxis. That's gonna be a bit unfortunate. I'm gonna be... Mana is gonna become a very serious problem for us as soon as I have to go to Praxis. It already is kind of a problem for us, and we don't have it on. We might just have to drop the... We might just have to drop Mana Forge arrows for now. Well, Mana Forge is only on... Is this on life tap? Yeah, it's on life tap. The world must be cleansed of impurity. Yep. After we get the first, after we do the first round with Innocence, I tend to go back to town if I haven't turned in the Miasma Druid yet. Hence the portal. Man, one day they'll make this fight better, though. I'm gonna cope for it anyway. Mostly, it's not even necessarily because, like, don't get me wrong, I don't really care for this fight anyway. Like, it's not a terribly exciting battle to me. But the other thing is that, like, not only is this already kind of a rough fight when it comes to, it's already kind of a rough fight when it comes to just, like, how long it takes, and even in the early game, but then having maps, not just one map, but having, like, I think, no, I guess there is just one map there, but there's, but, you know, you have just, like, a couple maps where you have to deal with this, and it just, kind of sucks. Hey, what's up? Nope. Give me that.
Now where was I?
Was I?
For freedom.
Okay. So, do we do faster bleeding? Bleed duration, Master of Wounds there. I could just take this. Where do I take... Where is the Mana Mastery that I wind up taking? Oh, I think I take the one, like, up here on my tree. And then reduce mana cost of attacks. It's really not bad, but it's going to be a while before I get that. So, do I just take this for now? No. No. Screw it. We're moving onward. Let's go up to, we're gonna take Farsight, we'll go to Thick Skin. Thick Skin, we're gonna take all of the wheel here. We're gonna take all 4 of these nodes. But we'll take Leader of the Pack, we'll take Farsight, and we'll go through Thick Skin and then go up this way. And the reason for that is because we're gonna try to become completely Elemental Ailment Avoidant. Which is then just gonna require... Which then that is like a really good little wheel for that. And there's also another wheel that gives us +1 max resist. 1 point up from us as well, and kind of lets us dodge more elemental elements. So we'll be expecting both of those notes, but that'll be later. And then we'll have to figure out ways to actually become completely... to actually fill our elemental element avoidance, because we'll get 25% from Kilaua's Bluster, and then we get 25% from that, and we get... I think we get like another like 40-ish%, 35 or 40% from that wheel. And then let's see what those are all 4s. Well, so you get 20% out of the 20% out of that life wheel as well. So I think it's like we'll have like 75-80% chance to avoid ailments by default. And then it'll just be a matter of getting that last percentage, which the few ways I can think of to do that would be the jewel for wish granted. There's the jewel for like modifiers to shock also, or like avoiding shock also apply to that, and then there's also Ancestral Vision, which I actually had one earlier this league, which is like modifiers to spell suppress also give you a chance to avoid elemental ailments at half value, which also would be a good avenue to go about doing that, and then also would let us kind of build into spell suppress some as well if we want to go a little bit more defensively oriented. We'll see. We'll see. It's going to depend on how we build our gear. Because I guess if we also do... we would have to do split armor evasion bases if we were going to do spell suppress. I mean, we could do pure evasion, but I'll be honest, I feel like for this particular setup, where we're going to be using Void Storm as like a setup, right? Where the Void Storm is out on the ground, we're going to have to run into it and make it explode, where we're kind of going to want to have at least some amount of armor as well, so that when we are taking hits, we can at least mitigate a good portion of it. So we could do that, and then we could get spell suppressed that way. Alchemy! I don't know, something about me saying alchemy like that right there just made me think of the Pokemon Alcremie. So, shout out to Alcremie. And we're going down for Kitava's Torments. I don't know when the next time, I don't know when the next time is that I'm going to wind up playing a Pokemon game. I was thinking about that recently. I was like, I don't know when I'm next going to actually get to play one, because we'll have... there's the new one where you're playing as we play as like a Ditto, and it's like a slice of life almost type deal, I guess is how I would describe it. And from all the like videos and the clips and everything I've seen, people really like that game. But it's only on Switch 2, and I don't have a Switch 2 because I know me, I'll barely use the thing. And then I know whenever Generation 10 comes out for Pokemon, that'll be another one that's only on Switch 2, most likely. And I don't know if I'll have one by then, so we'll see. We'll see. I think it'd be really cool if they actually did a generation where instead of adding like a new mechanic, which I do always I like their new mechanics, like you know, Mega Evolving, the whatever the other shit is called. I'm forgetting the names of all of them right now because there's a bunch of them. But I think it'd be neat if there was Terastallizing is at least one other one. I think it'd be neat if there was a like Gen 10 where instead of introducing another new mechanic, they just went they made it like more open or something, and then just gave you like the option of doing either multiple or like choosing what route you want to go. Like you'll run into Megas, or you'll run into Pokemon that can Terastallize, or something along those lines. I think it'd be a bit neater. just my own thought on that. But I don't know. It is also, yeah, I mean, also, as I'm thinking about it as well, the only way I'd ever play another Pokemon game, especially any of the newer ones, would be on a Switch 2, because as much as I had a really fun time with, I played Violet version, and as much fun as I had with it, holy, it was not made for the Switch 1. It ran so horribly on Switch 1, and I know I've seen, like, a lot of, like, when Switch 2 came out, and then people played it on it, they were like, yeah, this game runs way better on a Switch 2. It was definitely, like, essentially made for Switch 2, but then they had to also make it for Switch 1, because Switch 2 wasn't out yet. And it shows. And, but I still had fun with that one. But but Pokemon ZA ran a lot better on Switch 1, and I played it. But I wasn't as thrilled about that one. I think it was like Pokemon Violet. I could probably see myself, like, if I got a Switch 2, I could see myself potentially running through that game again, maybe. But like ZA I couldn't see myself playing again. I had a decent time with it for a while, but I definitely found myself being like, I guess more often than not, I found myself like semi-annoyed with some of the mechanics, to a point where I was like, yeah, I think in my own, like, for my own head, I think I gave it like a 6.5, like a 6.5 out of 10, whereas like Scarlet Violet would have been probably a 7 just because of how bad the performance was, but if it wasn't, it probably would have been an 8 or an 8.5, because I did have a lot of fun with both the story and the story and the zones, and like getting to run around in like the open world and stuff, and there was a lot of cool stuff, but there was just obviously a lot that also did not work super well. We need to get a better jewel too. We need to get a few jewels for ourselves. Yeah, we'll just work on taking Leader of the Pack first. It'll let us boost up Malevolence a little bit as well. Yeah. Let's see, a little over 3 hours. That's not bad for going from 1 to X1 through 5. Well, 3 hours. That is not too shabby to me. So like I said, I'm gonna try to just record at the very least all the way through to end game for this character, and I'll probably record some more in the actual end game for this character too, because I've got to showcase this character. Like, hopefully it turns out well at the end. Yeah, I do initially at least plan to record as much of this character as I can. There might be a few times where once we get to like actual maps and stuff, there might be a time or two where I'm just kind of mindlessly leveling up and like maybe I'm like chatting with some friends, so then I'm just not I'm not recording for that, because I just don't want to I don't know how much people actually enjoy no commentary versus commentary videos, truthfully. Like I really wouldn't mind recording just straight up no commentary videos, especially while leveling. But I'll be honest, like I feel like most of the leveling experience is kind of boring, truthfully, especially once you've done it a few times. So like I feel like people for the most part really aren't going to care as far as or at least I would say I feel like anybody that would watch one of these videos would prefer there be commentary versus no commentary, specifically on leveling. Maybe once you get to like maps or like specifically like boss fighting and stuff, then maybe you go no commentary, because like the voice lines, the music, all that kind of stuff is extremely good in those fights at the end game. But I think until then, you're probably just kind of like, yeah, a no commentary would just be crazy boring instead. So that's also kind of why I just don't really want to do a no commentary video, at least while I'm campaigning. After that, maybe. I guess if you're somebody that also likes, if you made it this far, I guess, also let me know if you like, if you prefer commentary or no commentary, or what flavor of no commentary you'd prefer, like in an endgame mapping scenario where I'm just running around just completing maps and just doing stuff, if you'd prefer just just for me to shut the fuck up for once, versus what I'm doing here. But we'll see. Either way, I mean, I make this for fun because I like just chatting while I'm playing, because I talk to myself a lot anyway, and I genuinely just enjoy making content and stuff. If I had the ability to full-time just make content, I would probably try to learn video editing more too, if I did have more time for all that kind of stuff, but I don't. I don't make any money doing any of this, so I'm just doing it for the love of the game, because I have fun doing it. If the option randomly presented itself, would I take it? Hell yeah. But I really would never expect it to, so I just kind of do, I just do whatever I feel like. Whatever happens, happens. I'm also, like, right now, I don't have the ability to be consistent. Like, anytime I'm like, oh man, I want to stream, I've been craving doing it, or I want to record some stuff, and then, something happens, whether it be I'm just so exhausted after something where I'm like, well, I'm not going to be, if I don't have any kind of energy or any kind of, like, anything, I think it's going to be far less entertaining than if I did. And then, I also, like I said, I like playing games with my friends, and I don't want to have to record all of that. So then whenever my friends are like, oh, you want to play this? Then, a vast majority of the time, I'm like, yeah, let's do it. So, it's just one of those things. Just one of those days. But I'm trying to get more consistent, especially while I have the ability to right now. At least more consistent just randomly, like, recording or streaming or just doing stuff, like, maybe earlier on in the day, and then going off and doing my own stuff. And just spending my energy like that. So I'm trying to get, I'm working on becoming slightly more consistent. I'm hopeful that I'll be able to, eventually. We're working on it. Yeah. It's all for the love of the game. Get back up here, you son of a bitch. Oh. Uh-oh. I think that works out timing-wise, too. I kind of want to go... Yeah, that'll actually work out great. As soon as we finish here, it'll probably be just about time for me to start getting ready for, bleh. Also, my life taps are absolutely killing me. We're just gonna get rid of, I'm just gonna get rid of Mana Forge right now, honestly. I am not consistent enough yet on this to be able to just life tap this consistently. Whenever I get, well, actually, I could take, I should take that point. That would actually help a lot. Okay, well, I need 2 levels. So in 2 levels we can take, and I could probably hold it for a long, long time, but we can take Leader of the Pack, and then afterwards we take this Life and Mana Leech node. As much as we aren't hitting ridiculously hard, it should still obviously really help us with our life tap survivability and with our mana problem too, because as soon as we actually level 49, so we can actually put Venopuncture on, and so we will be doing that. I should actually see if I can buy a Venopuncture that has all res on it. I might do off recording here. The last thing I might do once we finish. Oh, actually, we're done here. Okay, right. The last thing I might do. Well, I'll talk about that in a second. I'll talk about what things I might do off recording before I start the next part. But let's go. Oh, also I'll probably put Goldrim back on. What's our resistances gonna go down to? Not great. 1 resistance on fire. I could reasonably get a Carnage Heart too. That might also be another angle.
This isn't over. I will return.
He vows to save Oriath. Wait, no. Fujin.
You're not, but farewell.
Oh, so laggy this time. 20 people. So, yeah, let's do that. Also, yeah, I guess if I get a Carnage Heart and get rid of this, then that would also give me the Life Leech that we need. Anyway, that is where we will stop. We made it through Acts 1 through 5 in about a little over 3 hours. Let's, Slash Plate is going to be longer. Yeah, my Slash Plate is going to be longer because of, getting to wherever we started the video and then also just AFKing for a little bit to go eat food and whatnot, and I just left the character on, so, but regardless, that is pretty good time for me overall. I hope you enjoyed. YouTube, hope you enjoyed. It was fun to just yap and run around and level this character. Character seems like it's going to be decent, but obviously it sucks that Voidstorm is so late that we literally won't see it until either Act 10 or we won't see it until Act 10 or until early maps, which is kind of a bummer. But regardless, I mean, Bleed Bow is seemingly working completely fine right now. We're certainly not in a terrible spot, so we'll keep on keeping on. We'll see how this ends, but character fun so far. Character not bad. So like I said, as far as potential other things that I'm going to adjust afterwards, I'm going to consider if I'm going to get rid of Thrill Steel. Maybe I'll look to see if there's just like a better unique helmet that I can slot on instead of Thrill Steel. Praxis is getting swapped out. This will be instead a Venopuncture. I have a Venopuncture over here, but I'm going to try, like, I'll put it on for now, but I'm going to try to get one. I'm either going to try to go to a bunch of, into a bunch of places and see if I can just get a, see if I can just get one that has, or I see if I can just corrupt one myself to actually have something good on it, or maybe at the very least, if I can't get one that has its own corrupt, maybe I could just buy one. I'll take a look at what the prices are and kind of go from there. Belt will probably get replaced. The Quiver, I'm absolutely going to replace this thing now. I think it's been too long, so we're going to try to replace the Quiver. Harwi Ward here, I think, will also get replaced with a Carnage Heart. I think Carnage Heart will actually be a decent way to go about that. And then potentially I'll try to look into getting a better bow as well, because this bow is pretty whatever. But the rest of the gear will probably remain the same. So just going to do just a kind of a slight gear swap off of this, and I'll kind of talk about this at the start of the next part if you would like to take a look at that. But anyway, YouTube, like I said, I hope you enjoyed just a couple hours of me just yapping away and cruising through this character. But it's been fun, and I'm looking forward to a part 2. So until I see you next time, YouTube, and if you're also Path of Exile gamers out there, which I assume you are if you're watching this, but if you are, stay sane out there, Exiles. See you next time.